Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PS. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me.
Down the inside,
absolutely possible scene.
This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We'll go bust. We got our elbows out.
Ronnar takes the lead.
Because here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Jarno Watmere is your champion.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome back to PSGL PCF3, where tonight enter our 7th round of the season. We will take a trip over to Marina Bay for the Singapore Grand Prix, which what should be a very entertaining race, if how the races in F3 have gone by so far this season. Around a street circuit, quite tasty indeed. Of course, tonight, Victor Vidler has the chance to extend his championship lead even further. A new man in second place, Alex Santana, able to pick up the penalty as a big revelation in the stewarding room last week. That Giovanni Kennis got a time penalty for that incident that happened at turn 1 on the final lap. Alex Santana did report the collision, did get a penalty, did Kennis. So Alex Santana carries on the Williams streak of race victories, and he takes the spoils after that one. Drivers are now trackside, so I'll quickly run you through your standings now. As you can see, it's Victor Vidler, who is 8 points clear of his teammates at the top of the pecking order. And then it is, of course, Alex Santana. Dennis Langrock, 21 points behind. Still got 4 rounds to play for, though. Could still fight his way, back into this one. Ave Gabadi then in 4th. He's still unfortunately away due to no internet. Hopefully, we pray he gets some internet back soon. And then we have Ivan Iskrik, who's been on a very strong form when he has been here. 2 races with 2 second places. One last time out. Then Giovanni Kennis as well, finished in 3rd last time out. Wojtek Steg just separating those drivers alongside Kasper Flack as well. Then it's Damien Curiel, Lucas Baisner, Zalan Bieda, Diaz, Gio, Koya, Piagetski, Sousa, Gallané, Janssen, Clean, Cavero, and Napadowski round off your point score. Napadowski unlucky to not pick up the victory last time out. But as the drivers are now getting underway for their laps, first driver that is going to be around as we head trackside is going to be the man second place in the standings, Alex Santana. So Williams 1-2 at the top as it currently stands. And here we are then. It's starting to rain here in qualifying. So these early laps are extremely crucial indeed. You need to get them on the board now, or you could see yourself potentially start from last. And for Victor Vidler, he's the last one round. This could potentially cause some problems onto him, the championship leader, who did not have the greatest of times in Brazil last week. His podium streak came to an end. Now could be starting outside the top 10, which could really derail his championship if Santana could potentially, because he's got the best of the track conditions, put his car onto the very top of the standings. You can see the rain really starting to fall now. It's starting to show up on the circuit, so it is going to be a one and done session. He now makes his way into the middle sector split. It's down to 3rd gear through turn 13 to slowly bring the car through. Shio's retired. Oh, that's unfortunate for Niall. He is not going to go any further in this session. He'll start potentially from that back row of the grid. And now for Santana, making his way through. What's it going to be for him? You can see just how much they're struggling for traction. It is coming down thick and fast. It's rain across the line for Santana. It's a 34.7. That is the benchmark. Next, it's going to be one of the kick salvers, both the kick salvers of Napadowski and Clean. They didn't really give themselves much room on the road, but so far, look at that, by a second. Santana has been able to hold on to this one for now. DRS has been disabled too, so nobody going to have extra DRS down the straights. And look at that, Gabaddi in tonight. So he is here this evening, so it's good to see Abe Gabaddi is back. Alex Santana timed that to sheer perfection. Unless his teammate Victor Vidler can do something about it, which I don't think he will, because, understeers all the way off the road through the final corner. He's going to be slowest of all here for the championship leader. His championship rival, his teammate in the Williams, takes the top spot. He timed that one to sheer perfection. It will be Alex Santana who takes pole position here this evening. Of course, we've still got 13 minutes of qualifying to go, but the rain will keep getting worse. So the times we see now are going to be the ones that we see heading into the end of the session and what will place the grid. And for Santana, it was all about that rush out of the pit lane, and you could say the drivers who are in those teams, like your Saubers, like your Williams, down at the further end of the pits, had the perfect opportunity to get out the fastest and get the best of the track conditions. As Napadovsky and Rene Clean, even though they were second and third across the line, they didn't give each other much room on the road. They were very bottlenecked up to one another. They are only 6th and 8th fastest for Giovanni Kennis. He's going to try and make amends after last week. Took the victory on the road, but got it taken away in the steward's room. He'll want to fight back, and he starts second. Still 9 tenths behind, though, on Alex Santana on that lap. It all just boiled down to Santana coming out first, getting those track conditions. He just had the grip when he needed it the most. Spectacular stuff there from Alex. Still waiting for Achenbach, Gallané and Grob to head out into this session. Well, Gallané has headed out, should I say. Grob hasn't been able to put the lap time on the board. He's invalidated, unfortunately. You can just see how difficult the circuit is on those softs. Clean has retired on the first retirement. Of course, not really any point unless it's a wet race for the drivers to come out on the intermediates, and even then you won't really get too much representative running. So in terms of the championship, Victor Vidler on a circuit which is difficult to overtake at, even though there is plenty of DRS opportunities. Now does mean that Vidler has a lot of work to do, has a lot of pressure heading this race. Of course, if Santana outscores him by 9 points, he'll take the championship lead. Be another change in the championship lead, the first time since the Netherlands. And of course, it's really the first time all season, because even though Gabaddi did take the top spot very briefly, it was because he was tied on points with Victor Vidler. He just had more race victory, so for Victor Vidler, he's been on that top. He's been at the top spot, or at least a couple points off the top, for all season long. And if things finish as they start, it's actually no. Santana just needs to outscore him in the race by 8, because of course the point for pole position, an extra point to his championship tally. Interesting to see how the season does progress now with Vidler potentially over the past couple of races starting to dip in momentum, starting to form. But of course this was a bit of a rogue session on that front, so it may not be too representative of what we could have thought from the Williams driver. It was just getting caught out by the track conditions. Galileo across the line on the into the 142.1. Just to see what tyres these drivers are on. Look now. We'll be on the intermediates. But let's just see how many laps they do consecutively on this set of tyre. And in a lap as crucial as that one for Alex Santana, of course, even though it's the first one round, he had to keep his nerve. All these drivers did, because it was a one-shot qualifying session. They had to keep it within track limits. They had to keep the car within plate. Lots of pressure was resting on their shoulders to get the car around and keep the lap valid. Santana coped with that pressure well. Got a really strong lap. See himself. Prime position. For that top spot. Jeremy Galley is just gliding all over the road here. Not in Japan. For the drift conventions they have over there. The drift races. But he has hit the wall and lost a bit of front wing at the turn at 12 hairpin as you just go over the Anderson Bridge. I think his whole goal here is just to drift the car around. It's some good car control on display though. He's not looped it round at all. I say this now and he's going to loop it round into the wall. Just high luck, just the commentator's cursed luck. And no, just unfortunately wasn't able to get that one too far right. Lucas Baisler, he's pushing on a lap just behind teammate Abe Gabani, who's on an out lap. Of course, these times are not going to be representative of anything heading onto the board. They will stay as they are. For Alex Santana. Oh, is he's Kenneth. He's had a very good qualifying session. Andrea as well. Had a very tricky season when he has turned up. He has had a very strong performance to get that third place. Baisner in really the only one from those top runners in the standings who's been able to make it to the top of the pecking order was Santana. So Dennis Lamrock here this evening as well. So that means that Lamrock will potentially further out of title contention. Already being 21 points behind. 3 to go, and of course not using the F1 point scoring system. Does mean that it is harder to claw back big deficits. Majority of the drivers have now retired, just waiting on the drivers on the inside to finish their runs or whatever run plan they are doing with 5 minutes and left in the session. Singapore's a real confident circuit. I'm expecting a lot of these drivers now, what on the intermediate, they're just building confidence around the track, and if it is raining in the race, then it does give them that confidence a little bit later on. When we get to that point, if it's either from the very start or midway through the race it starts raining, it already gives them the confidence. They already know the limits of the car. They already know where and when they can't push. So they can find heaps of time over their competitors. On board here with Abe Gabani, really flicking the car in. Look at it rotated through some of these corners. Exiting out of the corner, you can see. Just short shifting up through the gears. Car under control on the traction, not bring the revs too high. Too much wheel spin. In comes Ave Gabadi now. You can just see how hard it is raining here. Torrential monsoon level conditions. By our Vidler, Napadovsky, Rob and Achenbach. Rob has now died, so we are just waiting on Vidler, Achenbach and Napadovsky. Come first, they timer that runs out first, or die first. Only one of them on the circuit. Coming in pit lane now. While this is all happening, let's quickly run you through your circuit for this evening. Napadovsky has now retired, so just waiting on Vidler and Achenbach. But let's run you through your circuit while nothing happened on track. Start the Marine Bay Street circuit, 4.9 kilometers or 3.069 kilometers. 19. Or on me down below me. I forgot to remove the placeholder on the camera, and yeah, ignore that. But anyway, of course, we have a total of 4 DRS zones down the main straight, down at Raffles Boulevard, and then have the likes between 13 and 14. Also, and 16. Very technical circuit, a driver-focused circuit. One which does reward drivers who are brave and on the limits. So if it's raining in the race, it could mean that drivers are potentially looking their iron, and that's why they've all just fired now. So there's not enough time to go out. Runs dry tyre wear, run be very high. Circuit like this with plenty of medium speed corners, plenty of slow speed, well, and traction zones. Those rear tyres do take quite a beating. We won't see till Achenbach retire, so it is going to be these last 30 seconds we get underway for the race and for. But I don't think he is at his PC at the moment. But for Achenbach, he's unfortunately did not want him to participate in the session, and for him, lobby at the moment. So if we're going to get a lobby restart to get him back in or not, but I'll keep you all updated, of course. Happen. There we go. That is the end of your session. It was a 1-lap qualifying. It was a one-shot quali. And it was Santana who took pole position by 0.8 of a second. Then it's Andrea Manzua, Basner, Kasper Flack, Napadovsky, Iskrig, Clean, Gabadi, and Koya round out top 10. Rafael, Sousa, Beglars, Vidler, Galanate, Grob, Steg, Achenbach, Gio are not able to set lap times. Galanate and Grob only on the intermediates. That's why they are at the bottom of the timed runners and so far off the pace. Same can be said for the other drivers in the 38. That's just due to the weather. That did come down. Don't think we are going to have a lobby restart. And by the looks of the tyres in the pit lane, it is raining here in Singapore. Can't really see it elsewhere, but by the looks of the tyres in Oliver Knott's garage, No, they've turned to hards. It is not raining, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have a dry race upon us this evening. It does transform into a wet race, but it is a dry start to this one. See who comes out on top. Will Santana make it 2 races in a row? Will, of course, Giovanni Kennis be able to capitalise and get that revenge after what happened last week? After starting front row of the grid. Oh, got, of course, Victor Vidler to look out for. Ave Gabadi as well. 2 drivers in that championship hunt. Gabadi was well within it, but it's going to be Santana and Kennis on the front row of the grid as we head to the 5 red lights. And we're underway here in Singapore. It's a good start from the Aston Martin, who already draws alongside the Williams heading into that first corner. But Santana on that wider outside line is able to sweep through that first corner nicely. Basner to the inside of Mansour as they now exit out of turn 3 and now head up through 4 and into 5. This harsh right-hander which drifts you out to that left-hand side. Gabadi is able to get past there on Raphael as they're now side by side down this back straight. Raffles Boulevard. They're both on the medium tyres, so no difference in tyre strategy there. As actually to the outside goes Kuntash, and I think Iskrig was also trying to get involved as well. Here comes Raphael now to the inside line, trying to hold this one. Gabadi goes over the inside apex curve. That now allows teammate Iskrig to draw alongside. Just not able to get ahead though, but a poor exit from his teammate. Could have just saw him draw alongside heading into turn 10, but nothing doing there as we actually had side by side there between Veglars and Sousa, but nothing being done there as Veglars is not able to find a way through this now technical middle sector. Very narrow, difficult to find your way through. And for Victor Vidler, he's not made up any places off the start. If anything, it looks like he's going to lose places here. With Grob to the inside line, he will go against the championship leader to demote him down to 15th place on this opening tour. Gallané and Oliver Knott now going side by side as well. Both the McLarens on the offensive. Rob not able to see himself through, and for Oliver Knott, he's ahead and now just behind his teammate. Let's bring up the tyre strategy, see what everybody is on. Everybody on the mediums but Casper Flack, who's on a set of the hard compounded tyres. So the Aston Martin going to try something different. See what he can do throughout this race. But for Santana, a dream start from pole position, able to hold on to the race lead. He'll now push on. Right. And break this DRS from Kennis, or at least keep him at arm's bay, which he did for that first lap. As you can see now, Kennis 4 tenths of a second behind, heading into the middle sector for the second time. And of course, Ackenbach, he is not here. That's why he's all the way down in the last 3.2 seconds off the pace already. Because that is his AI, it's not himself. I think now we're going to start to get into that somewhat of a procession. Drivers slowly just getting themselves into a rhythm around this circuit. Just, of course, trying to get as close to the wall as possible without hitting into it. And for Kennis, that was a nice usage of the DRS between 13 and 14. It now makes the run down into turn 16. He just won't be able to get close enough, you would think, heading into the braking zone. No, it's just not hard enough to look for a lunge to the inside at 2 tenths back. Wait, final corner now. Santana still leads away from Kennis, Basner, Mansour, Black, who's still within DRS. If he can keep that, that'll be crucial for his strategy. Napadowski, Gabadi, Raphael, Iskrig, and Koya rounding out the top 10. And for Koya, he's ref shot on streak of 1 second last time out thanks to that penalty. Barno Kennis. Second podium of the season. Second place of the season. That as well. For a track. Don't really see them featured often in calendars. And that's what makes it also a big challenge. The fact that these drivers don't really do this circuit too often at this high level. all about them dialing in, find their feet in the race against everybody else. It's Lucas Basler nearly out of DRS range from Giovanni Kennis, and that could put under some pressure here from once again with that top two if they want any chance of winning this race. Kennis, he's starting to get really close to the back now of the race leader Santana. I wouldn't be surprised down Raffles Boulevard. Overtake be made. Alright, so Kennis just be close enough, just time in that first sector. And of course for Giovanni Kennis, it is also about saving those tyres, saving that battery, carving track limits. It may be a street circuit, but around Singapore, especially at that first corner, that first complex of corners, well, very easy track limit warnings. And at the final corner, well, if you just get a little bit of understeer, that dirty air, which is so predominant on the game. Prominent. Just so easy to understeer that little bit too far wide and pick up the track limit. That 3 times pick up a 3-second time penalty, and that could be game over for any hope of winning this race, or even get a podium in this race if the field stays this close. Out of the final corner we go, Kennis. Once again close. So he does through the first sector this time around. Very nicely tucks behind the winning driver out of turn 5. DRS now opens. We head down Raffles Boulevard. And is this going to be the opportunity for Giovanni Kennis to see himself through? Yes, it is. There he goes. Kennis takes that race lead away from Alex Santana. And the two drivers that squabbled for victory last time out, it was Santana who won it thanks to the steward's room. The man who won it on track last week, Giovanni Kennis, now hits the forefront once more. For Santana, he now needs to dial in, get the grips with that dirty air, and just make sure Kennis does not leave that 1 second window, because if he breaks DRS, certainly could scamper off down the road, scamper off into the distance. Saving grace here for Santana is the fact there's so many DRS zones around this circuit. Only got a couple corners between them all. Always, something's happened to Oleg Napadovsky there. He's falling down the order. Oh, he's coming into the pit lane. Napadovsky into the pits. First driver in, so he's pulling the trigger now. What is it going to be? Is it the hard sort of set of the meat, instead of the hard compounded tyres going onto the kick Sauber? He's trying the undercut strategy. Stuck in that train. And Zura as well has dropped out of DRS range from Lucas Bates. Now I think that's only just happened as there goes Casper Flack. 2 Aston Martins. Space of 2 laps, making their way up the order in very similar fashion. Napadovsky's come out just behind Achenbach's AI. Now head through turn 5, with the kick Sauber. And he should be able to get by quite easily because the AI will brake super early compared to Napadovsky. Cost him maybe a couple of tenths of a second, but nothing too major. Well managed there from Napadovsky. What do the rest of the field do, though, to react to that? Do they stay out even longer? Of course, the guys at the front of the field, they certainly do have that to play with, but they can go a little bit longer. Guys further back, that was around Napadovsky. Do they react to him? They're all staying out so far. Is anybody looking at pit lane? Is it so? Only trouble that did come in was Galanay. Oh, and he's picked up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. 2 stops, definitely strategy for Galanay and Napadovsky. For Giovanni Kennedy, he's been able to keep that gap at the front of the field to around about 0.8 of a second. Napadovsky now 18 seconds behind Nalgio. Back of this pack. But Flack have been able to catch up to cars in front of them. They within DRS range. I say that Manzua very close. Dropping out of the DRS. All of that top 5 staying out for now. And all was that Raphael diving into pit lane. It was a tricky pit lane entry, of course, here at Singapore. Very easy to overshoot and go straight back onto the racing line. But for Raphael, he's in. Same with Veglars as well. That's a man from 7th place into the pit lane now. Still no one from that top 6 has elected to come into the pit lane. Of course, Flack is the only one that will really be going and extending this stint. As Gabadi is now to get past Mansour because the Haas driver once again lost DRS to the car in front. Excuse me, is Salsa able to make his way past clean. Gabadi 1.2 seconds behind. Casper Flack's been a good drive up the field here from Ave Gabadi. Started down in 9th, up in 5th. Very solid. And for Victor Vidler, he's to 11th, and 3 drivers are boxed. So he's still around about that 14th place spot. He's not going to make any progress throughout the field so far. And for Alex Santana, it is going to be absolute wonders for him to take this championship lead away if this can stay the same. Of course, got plenty of time left to go in this race. Still 23 laps from me. Sorry. Between now and the very end. Oh, that was very undecisive there from Iskrieg. Self come into the pit lane. Iskrieg come out. Is it ahead or behind teammate Raphael? How far behind Napadovsky? Raphael was 2.4 seconds behind on Oleg Napadovsky. Rene Clean also comes in pit lane for a set of the hearts. Krieg is going to come out behind Napadovsky and teammate Raphael of Veglars and Jeremy Galanay. Crucial for his race. As actually Galanay going side by side with Clean on the exit of the pit lane for the V-Carb. He has made his way through. He's up into 18th. The undercut certainly does work is quite powerful. I think it's mainly just down to the fact there's so many low speed traction zones. Need that rear grip. Hard to bite into the tarmac. That's exactly what they have done. Oliver Knott has just been overtaken there by Wojtek Steger. It's now under pressure from Niall Gio, who's trying to get through. No, he looked to the inside, wasn't able to get a move done there. I think Giovanni Kennis has come into pit lane. Yes, he has. So, the race leader's now come into pit lane. He's pulled the pin at the front of the field. Andrea Manzua also does follow him in. the speed of this undercut at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenneth comes in and comes out if Santana responds instantly within about, he probably will be about 1.5 seconds clear by the time he comes out the pit lane. Napadovsky, I just don't think will get the jump for now. Be interesting if he does or not. There is, of course, Kenneth on the inside, and Napadovsky does get the jump. He's just about ahead of the Aston Martin. I say just about, it's 1.1 seconds between the pair. So for Oleg Napadovsky, this undercut's worked wonders, but the only issue is, from full lap old hards, compared to extremely fresh hard compound tyres there on Giovanni Kenneth. Kenneth, though, driving like a man possessed, has been able to claw that time back. Even if he did have those cold, hard compound tyres on the car. A Wojciech Steck now past another one of the McLaren cars. He's passed Ryan Grob. And he's up into 8th place. Abe Gabadi is next into the pit lane. As for Giovanni Kenneth, he's all over the back of Napadovsky now. Really struggling against this Aston Martin. As we've got 21 laps to go here now in Singapore. Here at Marina Bay. For Kenneth, he opens up that DRS behind Napadovsky, but easily breezed by. That's an identical move to what we saw there with Alex Santana. Up into that net race lead, he goes once more. Further back, Manzua and Gabadi are now squabbling side by side for 14th, and it was Gabadi who comes out on top there. So that was 4-track position. 4.9 seconds behind the cars in front as they're now in that train with Ivan Iskrig. Big old margin. Rafael and Napadovsky up in front of them. Kenneth has broken a second from Napadovsky. He is flying right now as that Aston Martin driver. Santana, Beister, Flack, Koya all stay out for extra laps. They're going to probably try the one stop here. It wouldn't surprise me if in a couple of laps time, say by the time we reach lap 16, lap 15 maybe, they do decide to come into the pit lane and go into the set of the hards, because the hards could probably make it to the end by that point. We head down Raffles Boulevard once more. It's Gabadi trying to hunt down his streak. Now 5.2 seconds behind Team Rafael. He's just not jutting to the yards at all. He just does not seem at one with that car at the moment, but 4, of course. Abe Gabadi does mean he's just getting stuck and stuck and stuck behind this Ferrari, because there is no way he's getting through just yet. As I think we now see Lucas Beisner dive into pit lane. Yes, we do. Beisner into the pits. Interesting to see what the Mercedes driver now does. A fresh set of tyres. Where does he come out in relation to Giovanni Kenneth, who's now making his way down that main straight? Beisner is going to be overtaken there by Kenneth and Napadovsky. at least those first three. And then we get to the tricky point of the likes of Intrigue. Is he going to come out in front? I think he will. Oh, he's going to be side by side maybe on exit with teammate Ave Gabadi. He is. But for Lucas Basler, he has to drop behind his teammate. It might now be on the offensive to try and get past here. Onto Ivan Iskrig. Is he going to find his way through? DRS open for the Mercedes. Falls to the left-hand side. No, just not close enough. And 4, of course, Baddy's teammate here in Lucas Basner. He's trying to make his way through quickly as possible and utilise those fresh, hard compounder tyres. Front of the field, Santana has stayed out even longer with Casper Flack. Surely the Williams reacts now, and he does. He comes into pit lane and will have a total of 4 laps tyre difference to rival in this race. And the race leader before he came into pit lane, Casper Flack, who's just been able to make his way past there on Oliver Knott through one driver in the traffic. And for Daniel Coyer, he also had to come into pit lane. Same with Oliver Knott as we see in the background. No, Gio actually able to make his way through on to Coyer. Santana, of course, comes out well behind Giovanni Kennis. He's behind Jeremy Gallinate. As Ave Gabadi's going to go for a move here onto Iskrig. It's the move done. Up into 8th place he goes, 4.7 seconds behind on Raphael, the Ferrari's teammate. Oh, and that's Iskrig into the wall. Contact with Lucas Basler, who I think tried a late move around the outsides. And it is not ended in the way they would have hoped. Iskrig gets a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision. There's more contact between the pair. And for Ivan Iskrig and Lucas Basner, any chances of a podium finish or even just a good result in general has just seen them, unfortunately, fall out of contention. And for Iskrig, he's not got damage, but he's got a penalty. And for Lucas Basner, I think he might have some front wing damage as Santana is side by side here with Mansour. And Alex Santana makes his way through with Victor Vidler, championship leader, now into pit lane. He's had quite the difficult race so far. And he's trying to go for the overcut. Trying something different. See how his race does play out. But for Basner and Iskrig, they really have fallen out of contention. Now, I want to quickly check the front of Lucas Basner's car. If he's got damage, it is very light damage. That front wing is still intact. And for Giovanni Kennis, 2.7 seconds clear now of Oleg Napadovsky. Kick-Sauber driver has been dropped. He's really under pressure here from Raphael, who boxed 2 laps later than him. Of course, Kennis boxed 4 laps later. Plenty of gaps now in this train. It was from Gabadi to Raphael. It's now 3.5 seconds. And once he gets past these 2 in front of him, he's still got another 3.5 seconds to catch to get to race leader Kennis. So the Aston Martin might have played an absolute blinder here on the strategy front. He himself take this race victory. And this time, win it without any controversy, because he has not put a foot wrong so far all evening long. And for Alex Santana, he's now getting close to the back of Ave Gabadi on fresher tyres by 3 laps. Gabadi with a late move to the left-hand side. Santana is now going to try and pull this one all the way around the outside. But no, look at that. Gabadi under pressure goes deep. And I think went nearly into the wall. And Alex Santana says, thank you very much. He played him to an absolute T there, did Alex Santana. Gabadi did go in the wall. I think he's missing that left-hand side end plate. He is. Oh, and he has been made to look an absolute fool in that one. Broke well too late trying to defend from Santana. I think was expecting Santana to hold it round the outside. And just completely missed his braking point. And the Williams driver trying to take the championship lead tonight. Couldn't have asked for an easier overtake. Boyer is able to make his way past on Rene Cleaners. They're actually side by side, heading down into turns, of course, 16 and 17, and all being forced wide there was Clean. That's put him into the path of good friend and teammate Noel Gio. Of course, teammates in TRT. And now to the inside goes Niall. And they're still side by side. Clean once again, forced wide. As this Greek picks up more penalties and he unfortunately retires from this race. Gio makes his way through over Clean's drop behind Victor Vidler as well. And at the front of the field, Dennis has been able to make his way past on Wojtek Steg. And Raphael is getting ever closer to getting past the kick Sauper. He's just fast at the wrong places. Yellow flag in the first sector. That's of course for Iskrieg's AI. Of course, Casper Flack on that one stop. I think it's a one-stop strategy here so far from the Aston Martin. We've spoke about him just yet. Been laps on those hards. So Santana could potentially take his tyres to the end. See what he does. Ennis, I'm expecting him into pit lane a little bit later on. Same with Napadowski and Raphael. Alex Santana's actually onto the back of that battle now, so we'll watch this from his POV as he went to the inside. That was a bold move. And unfortunately for Alex Santana, I think that was a bit too robust as Rene Clean is our second retirement in the same amount of laps since the last one. I think that was just a little bit too robust there from Santana, a bit too aggressive. I think it was a little bit too panicked seeing what Kenneth was doing up the road. And unfortunately he was the maker of his own demise because there was no chance Raphael was backing out of turning into that corner. Actually just in front here is the Alpine of Till Ackenbach. That's his AI. Still trundling around this circuit. Vidler with a 3-second time penalty. I think that's his second 3-second time penalty of the race. Oh, and Santana nearly taken out there by the Alpine. Now that is Vidler's first penalty, but that's going to be crucial for the championship leader. Actually stuck behind Noel Gio at the moment. Now makes his way into turn 14 to the inside. Goes to Williams driver. Gio holding firm. Of course, the Frenchman will want to try and hold on to his position here, but of course can also let him through and use Vidler as a battering ram to the cars in front. As I think we see Napadowski into pit lane. Yes, he is on the same lap as Casper Flack. Going to try and do 13 laps on those mediums. Should be able to do that. Interesting to see actually where Casper Flack comes out in relation to everybody else. Down in 13th place. Yes, it is. Just in front of Ryan Grob. Behind Luke Weissner. And for Alex Santana, he's getting closer to Raphael. And this time, Raphael lets him through. There's no point fighting it. We're on two different strategies. And there's a total lap tyre age difference. A bit further back, Galanate. has been overtaken by Victor Vidler as well. As Vidler now going to the inside. Onto Max Veglars, using those younger tyres and really making them count, but gets forced wide and nearly into that wall. That was beautiful point of view from Jeremy Galloway, but Veglars drops behind now as that's Casper Flack being robust against Basner, forces him off the road. And he makes his way up into 12th. Those mediums are going to be very fast in these opening few laps. No one really will want to try and fight against them, especially if you're the likes of Niall Gio, Jeremy Galloway. You want to keep your tyres, and of course I think you've still got another pit stop on your cards. That's a second back say, and that's cost his teammate Veglars. That's not worked out well at all, and this might actually allow Casper Flack to capitalise. There's a bit of carbon fibre flying, not sure if that's for Gio. Yellow flag in the second sector for somebody. It's now to the inside goes Casper Flack. He's made his way through now. And for Wojtek Steg, he's now into pit lane. Galloway's going to come into the pits after just being overtaken by Casper Flack. Veglars is going to get overtaking instantly down that main straight. Flack up into P8 now. He is flying at the moment on those medium compounder tyres. Next on his list is championship leader Victor Vidler. That purple first sector is still on the mini-map there for Casper Flack. He is the fastest man on the circuit at the moment, being on the best tyre. Softer rubber than the drivers who have boxed onto another set of the hards. Certainly affects it. Casper Flack is all over the back now of course, championship leader Victor Vidler, but it might not be championship leader for too much longer this season. Through goes Casper Flack. At the back here, there's a massive train forming behind Veglars, with Niall Gio at the forefront of it. The Frenchman could potentially pick up some more points this season. He's going to try this one-stop strategy. Actually, another back, I think that's Jeremy Gallen. No, it's not Gallen. They're going for a move. Casper Flack has gone for a move, though, on Andrea Manzua. Up into 6th place now is Felipe Salsa going for the move on to Ryan Grobbis. He's now going to be trying to be forced around the outside to defend. It's the McLaren. Rob holds on to that 12th place. Salsa in the B-Carb. Of course, ahead of these two, sorry, is Niall Gio, Lucas Basner, and also Max Veglars. Basner involved in that earlier incident with Skrieg, and actually some front wing damage here for Ryan Grob as he's potentially looked for a lunge onto Niall Gio. Not going to make his way through as Daniel Koya made his way through there on Ave Gabadi, and he's up into 4th place. This is a great performance from Koya so far. Victor Vidler. We get past Andrea Manzura as well as Casper Flack threatening on the top 5 already. That gap between the top 2 now down to 3.1 seconds. DRS now is open. Heading down that back straight. And are we going to see anything happen here for Casper Flack? Is he going to look for it to the inside into turn 8? No, he is not. Just not close enough, but can get the exit and try swing it around the outside of the line. But no, Gabadi shuts the door firmly in his face. Of course, Gabadi, we know, a firm defender of position, has got front wing damage as well after hitting the wall after trying to defend from Alex Santana. That gap now at the front down to 2.2. Kenny's starting to struggle. Potentially has hit that cliff in tyre performance. And now here comes Casper Flack with the battery, looking to the inside line, and he's got the move done nice and easily with the DRS. And he's up into 5th place now. Next will be Daniel Coyer before Raphael. And will he be able to hunt down the top 2? At the front of the field, it's now 1.7. Something's happened to Kenneth here because Santana is gaining at a rate of knots. He is really starting to hunt down that Aston Martin. I do believe it could be the fact that potentially Kenneth has just hit that performance cliff. He's just hit that cliff in the tyre, and then he just starts to plummet down through the field. And Casper Flack's all over the back of Daniel Coyer, who's trying to get past Raphael here. We could get a Flack Kenneth Santana podium. 7 seconds now, that gap between the top 2 and 3rd place. I don't think Flack's going to be able to catch up to Alex Santana. Kenneth could certainly still be a shout, though. Out we go, out of the final corner. Not final corner, sorry, out of turn 13 over the Anderson Bridge and down into 14 we go. Raphael breaks late to try and get the up and under there onto Coyer, but goes a little bit deep into the corner. Casper Flack says thank you very much. Now Daniel Coyer will want to hold on to this 3rd place against Casper Flack. Oh, a big snap there for Casper Flack, as the Aston Martin is pushing very hard to gain as many places as possible. Of course, Ave Gabadi and Victor Vidler have now caught up to the back of Raphael as well. As talking about Victor Vidler, there he was trying to go for a lunge into the 1st corner. Got it all out of shape in the background and into the back of Ave Gabadi now as well. Of course, a 3-second time penalty for the Williams is not going to do him any good. Casper Flack will be able to get past Daniel Coyer down this straight you would think with the DRS. There he goes, nice and easily. And what about Victor Vidler against Ave Gabadi? Nothing Gabadi could do there. And Victor Vidler is able to move himself into that top 6 now, and will need to just try and break away as much as he can. The top 5 could still be on here for Victor Vidler after starting down in 14th place, and was in 14th all the way to the end of that 1st stint. When he came into the pits, he's been electric since then. A real champion's performance to at least get some points on the board when things aren't going your way. Pushing on in the face of adversity. And for Victor Vidler, the top 5 is well and truly on, and out in the front of the field, Alex Santana is here within DRS range now of Giovanni Kenneth. Vidler has been able to make his way past there on Raphael. I wasn't expecting him to get the move done because he was so far behind. But he is now ahead. And the Ferrari driver drops down to 6th. Next on Vidler's list will be Coyer, but they're on the same age tyre, so it'll be difficult to hunt down the Red Bull man unless he has some elite race pace like his teammate at the moment, who is really hounding the back here of Giovanni Kenneth. So I think the Aston Martin at this rate is just going to try and hold on for a podium. DRS now open for Alex Santana as he heads down that back straight down Raffles Boulevard and into turn 7. Round the outside, the Williams decides to go, gets forced wide by Kenneth over that inside apex curve, and it's late on the brake from Santana. There was some contact on the exit of 7, contact on the exit of 8, and Kenneth holds firm. He holds the position, of course. These two were the ones that came to blows on the final lap last time out, and Kenneth did get penalised, handing the man in 2nd place Santana the win, and Kenneth will not want by any means possible to allow Alex Santana through. He wants to put up as much of a fight as he possibly can and just try and hold him off for as long as possible, and maybe even bring teammate Flack into play. and give Flack the opportunity to take the race victory, who of course himself got a race victory taken away from him from an incident with this very man we're on board with. That was at the Netherlands. Kennis in, of course, Brazil last week, as Santana late to the brakes forces Kennis off the road. Kennis straight back across, and Santana now to the inside line. I think that might come under some controversy a little bit later on in the steward's room, because that was a very late send by Santana. And is Kennis going to try and get him back into that first corner? No, he is not, as Santana actually allows Kennis back through, but I think that was totally strategical to now get DRS. He saw that move wasn't really fair onto Kennis. He can't get penalised for it now, did give the position back, but it's now got DRS down Raffles Boulevard to try it all over again as we head through turn 6 and up into 7. It's got to be Santana who has to go around the outside once more. He has so much braking performance, so much more grip, but Kennis holds firm as he looks to the inside. Now Santana goes deep into the wall. Kennis off the road, and Casper Flack, the seas have parted for him. He's now through on Kennis, and Santana, has he been able to avoid any front wing damage? We'll see heading through turn 10. He has not. He's picked up front wing damage, and for Casper Flack, he might have just seen the win gifted to him on a platter. Alex Santana, who has driven flawlessly all evening long, other than a potential incident with Raphael, which may have put a sour taste in his mouth, has now got DRS. Oliver Knott did retire while that was going on. Casper Flack now makes his way through on Alex Santana, but he has driven so well. He did so well under pressure in qualifying, but for some reason he had time to get past there onto Giovanni Kennis. He had laps in the bag, but for some reason he rushed it. He was too aggressive against Giovanni Kennis, and it's cost both of them a potential race victory, and even both of them a potential podium. As Victor Vidler's now all over the back, as that is Oleg Napatovsky, who's now retired, unfortunately. As here comes Victor Vidler onto Kennis. He squeezes to the inside. He just about finds a gap. That's a car width wide. And Victor Vidler sees himself through up into 4th place with that penalty. And he's now going to try scamper off down the road to catch Daniel Koya. It is all kicked off here in Singapore in the dying few laps of this race. And for Alex Santana, he's thrown away a big margin in the championship. It's not about getting race victories in a championship fight. It's about what Victor Vidler's doing right here. And that's the resilience in moments where things aren't going your way. It's just getting some points on the board, because some points are better than no points. They could be the 1 or 2 point differences that could see you take the championship crown this season. And I would not be surprised if we see Santana penalised for that incident there with Giovanni Kennis, because that was a send of all sends, and it did not go well, and Kennis had to take the escape road, or he saw himself heading straight into the wall. Daniel Koya could be on for his first podium of the season, and it's been a very solid try from the Red Bull as well. As he pushes on, of course, Daniel Koya is a... Oh, as Ave Kabaddi actually gets past Raphael. That all forces the Ferrari off the road. But he does see himself through. Same with Felipe on to Andrea Manzua. Of course, for Daniel Koya, he is in 14th place standings with a best finish of 8th. 2 8th places, a 10th and a 9th. He has scored 9 points. And as he's behind Alex Santana, no matter where he finishes on the podium, he is going to score more than he has all season long. Alex Santana had the chance to make it 4 Williams victories in a row, 2 apiece for Vidler, 2 and for Santana. Wojtek Steg makes his way past Manzua, who done really well to take those 18-lap-old hards for so long. Same with Veglars on those 20-lap-old hard compounder tyres. But unfortunately for Alex Santana, his desperation got the better of him. And he's now going to fall within the clutches of his teammate once Daniel Koya sees himself through. Got the DRS as Daniel, but he's just not going for the move just yet. He's playing cards right. He's biding his time. Casper Flack scampering off down the road. I don't think he's got to get this one taken away from him. But that was a super aggressive lunge from Alex Santana, which may have just cost him the championship. What will be revealed, of course, in 3 rounds' time. But it was a desperation dive from Santana. And Victor Vidler's now actually gaining up to the back of these two as well. Going to see Koya. Is he going to go for it now? Is he going to look to that outside line? Yes, he is. Round the outside he goes. Santana tries to defend this one, of course. Does have that front wing damage. Bounces over the inside curb. Koya now on the inside through the final corner. Will surely just want to get this one done. Victor Vidler now to the inside of his teammates. And he makes his way through up into 3rd. So for Vidler, who started 14th, Santana onto pole. They've met on the same part of the circuit. It says Santana to the inside of his championship rival. The 2 Williams cars squabbling over the same piece of turf, and Santana falls behind Victor Vidler, who's now lost the RS to Daniel Koya in front. So Santana might be able to fight back, but with that front wing damage, he's going to be hurt, and he's not going to surely find any more speed over his Williams compatriot to get the move done into turn 7, of course. Heading into 8 is where the drama unfolded, with him and the man just behind him, Giovanni Guinness. And for Alex Santana, as on the penultimate tour, he's just not close enough. And for Alex Santana, he might even fall out of the 3 seconds range of his teammate Victor Vidler here if him and Kenneth start coming into battle. Or still within that DRS range at the moment. Vidler in DRS range of Casper Flack. I said it could be a chaotic race with how F3 has been this season, and oh boy, has that certainly delivered. It was a slow start. And as this race has progressed, it certainly started to deliver. Casper Flack at the front of the field. He's in Dreamland at the moment. He made the one-stop work right in his favour. He's got lucky with the incident that happened between Santana and Guinness. But as they say in motorsport, you make your own luck. Actually, there's a mental battle going on in the background as Gio's been able to make his way through on Galladay. And Veglars is now side by side with Grob. And Veglars has dropped behind Ryan Grob on 23-lap-old hard compound tyres. He's looking to the inside now. Just be able to get that move done, and now Gio is looking for the move too. Galladay, of course, is still waiting in the wings. Victor Vidler at the front of the field is trying to make his way past on Daniel Koya. I think he's just going to drop down to 5th place, but we're going to have to wait and see if this penalty could get removed. Back at Daniel Koya, just not finding any way through. Oh, Gio's able to go side by side here with Ryan Grob as Veglars was able to make his way back through there on the Alpine. Round the outside goes Gio onto the McLaren. We've got a brilliant scrap over 12th place in this race. It says Galladay late on the brakes and he sees himself through. Or does he? Because Rob is still fighting this one back on the inside. Ryan Grob has been able to fight this one back. No, he hasn't. Unfortunately, drops behind the V-carb. But at the front of the field, He may have had to make his own luck, but it certainly worked in his favour. He tried the audacious one-stop on the hards, then the mediums. He's made it work. This time it won't get taken away. The Dutchman of Casper Flack can finally celebrate his first PC win. He wins here in PSGL PCF3 in Singapore. It's Koya who takes his first podium of the season as well. He can be happy with that result. Followed by Santana, then Kennis. That incident, of course, going to be under review of what happened at turn 8. There may not have been contact, but was it deemed that Santana was too aggressive and has forced Giovanni Kennis off? As for Max Veglars, I think he's picked up a puncture at the final corner. He has. Oh, disaster for Veglars. So will be Shio, who takes 12th in that battle from Grob, then Gallané, then Veglars. So, your results are as follows. Of course, with Casper Flack taking that victory, that is his first PC victory as well. Not only his first win here in PCF3, his first PC as a whole. Unless he has won elsewhere since he won in Danvort and got it taken away from him. The Dutch won too, actually. With Flack and Koya, Santana, Kennis, it could still be a Dutch 1-2-3 on the podium. And Victor Vidler, championship leader with a very strong performance from 14th to 5th. Still holds on to the championship just about. Then it's Ave Gabadi, strong return, followed by Rafael Beisner, Felipe, Wojtek Steg rounds out your top 10. Then it's two Haskars of Mantua and Nalgio, Ryan Grob, Gallané, Veglars, who got the puncture just at the final corner. Ackenbach participate thanks to him getting disconnected. And for Napadovsky, not clean, and Iskrig, they unfortunately themselves fall during that race and have the greatest luck themselves. So, how good are any draw? The view. See what these drivers have to say. That drama. And certainly add a bit more spice to that. Ennis and Santana have now formed a new rivalry between themselves, it seems, after 2 weeks, 2 incidents the past couple of weeks. Casper Flack wants an interview, of course. Casper would. I would love to hear from him. Well, I don't think there was any incident Casper was involved in, and if there was, it would probably not be enough to give him a 5-second time penalty. Casper has waiting for him, so we're going to bring him in for an interview, see what he does have to say. So, the man who won. I don't think we're going to get anyone else. Bring in Casper Flack. Hello, Casper. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your race victory. Is this still your first victory if this one stands?
This one is definitely going to stand. And yeah,
Well,
it's a bit sad that it's my first, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate that it's not your second, but congratulations on the race victory. Talk us through that one. How did you find things?
Well, very nice. I can't lie. We were the only one on hard mediums apart from Wojtek, who started last. So it was a bit of a gamble. It was either going to be I finish P10 or P1. and it was first. So yeah, it was very well executed, I think.
Yeah, it certainly was indeed, of course. But you created your own luck as well. There was an incident between Santana and Kennis that, of course, certainly did help with your way through the field. What was going through your mind when you saw them both? Well, Santana in the wall and Kennis off the road.
Well, the first thing I said to my engineer was, "So I've won the race now." So yeah, now it obviously helped, but I think I would have won anyway. At the rate I was catching them, I think an overtake would not have been that difficult.
Yeah, certainly. It did give you that win really, because Koya just have the pace to keep cards. And of course, talking about that strategy front, you that hard medium, was that always the plan going into it, based somewhat off qualifying position? What came to that decision?
Well, I think I was always gonna do a hard medium in a full dry race. So even if I started P1, I think still hard medium was clearly the best strategy. And yeah, no matter what position I started in, it was just hard medium.
Strategy that pay off. Talking about qualifying, that one shot qualifying session, the rain started coming down as you guys started your lap. Just how difficult was that lap compared to other laps you've done this qualifying? Having the pressure over one lap and the rain coming down as well. Was it difficult to judge the grip into each?
Well, it was. I was fixing my my share screen or like in Discord, and then my engineer said, go out, it's raining." And then I was already like going out a bit later than the whole field. But yeah, it going into the lap it was basically full dry, and at the end of the lap it was full inter. So it was obviously difficult to judge the grip. I even saw someone crash out of me, and it was a bit of a weird lap for sure. But P5, I knew that was definitely a good position to start a race in, especially on hard medium. I think that's a pretty good position. But yeah, it was an interesting qualifying, you can say. Yeah.
Couple more, both Casper. When you moved on to the mediums, you had to make your way through some traffic and around a circuit that's notoriously not really known for overtaking on the game. Was it quite fun to slice your way through the field?
Yeah, it was very fun to do. I had such a big advantage on people. I was like passing like 4 or 5 people in one lap. Like they also knew that I was on so much fresher tires that, well, they didn't let me through, but they definitely didn't make it difficult. But maybe took some risks that I shouldn't have. But I wanted to win like very badly, so I took a bit of risk while overtaking them. But it definitely paid off, and it was very fun to do.
Fun to watch as well. And of course, we head to Spa next week. First of all, will you be racing? And are you confident around there at Spa?
No, I didn't know it was Spa. I am gonna race, but oh, I hate that track.
Well, you never know. After
never
a week of practice, pace could just be a track where you think you don't like, and then never know. You could surprisingly have some pace.
I think I'm gonna do a lobby now. No, I'm not. I'm joking, but nah, I I think my quali pace there has to be. I have to do a lot to get up to pace, but we'll see. Maybe it will rain, same as today. You never know.
A circuit with a lot, but yeah, well done on your race victory, Caspar. A very strong drive, a very good performance, and yeah, hopefully we see you back next week in Belgium. And if things don't go your way like you may be expecting, hopefully we see you back at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Well, see you next week. Bye. Thank you.
Well, that was Casper Flack. That's the only interview we are getting it. Of course, Daniel Correa and Santana are not room. So, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the calendar, here is what remains with 3 to go. Of course, results for tonight are very much provisional after a few incidents throughout that race, excuse me. And we, of course, head to Belgium next week. Like I did mention in that interview there with Casper Flack, a very, very tricky circuit when it comes to car setup, because you want the high downforce for the middle sector or lower downforce, final and the first sector. Track that does take a lot of skill to get a long lap too, the longest lap on the calendar of over 7 kilometers. Certainly a circuit does bravery too. You need to be on the limit of your car. Well, for every type of corner as well, slow speed, medium speed, and high speed. But it's certainly a great variation. Then we've got Abu Dhabi and Jeddah to round off the season double. See us out for season 42, and I also think that would see us out for this set of regulation 20 F1 25. Don't quote me on that. Sign up to the Discord. Well, come to the Discord. The link on our Twitter, which is at PSGL, well, of course, X now, and on our Instagram as well, which is at PSGL. So if you can't get involved at the moment, sign-ups are closed, but if you want to be part of the community now, potentially see updates for the season coming, season 43, and stick around. But that is going to be all from us here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, at PSGL F3, F2, and F4 and F4 are just getting underway for their races, I believe. So make sure those, because they could be classics like we had tonight as well. You've got Nathan Rich and Joseph Black and Miss Sky in F4. So see you in the next one. So thank you all very much for watching. Can Victor Vidler fight back and potentially extend his championship lead? What will happen in the stewards room over this next week? By the time we head to Belgium next time out. So thank you very much for watching. Join us next week at 7 PM UK time or 8 PM European time. And we shall see you next. So thank you all very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well. I've been Max Ring. Thank you all for watching, and